Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon, and today I will do my first impression and what I know so far about Kafka. I play, I don't know, over 10 hours. This is 5 am, so I will just do everything very brief. Take notes, my Kafka not built, um, very still not built. Also, my other company like Shampo and Luka is very not built yet. Their level, everything is not so kinda just whatever. Even the stat is not even amazing in here, it's not even amazing. So yeah, takes note with that. But this is like my first impression. So this is what you expect for your Kafka that we will say for the day one. Alright, so let's talk overall about Kafka. So my opinion about Kafka in overall, if you're curious, is she good or not? I would to say as an individual, she's just okay. Like if you say like if I want to pair like with other team, like let's say kinda silly stuff or probably like Clara and something like that, it's kinda okay in general, but in the end, if you want to utilize Kafka ability, you want to see like, oh, actually Kafka did something, then you need to pair with another DOT character, which is in here you have choice either Sampo or Luka though. Both of them is good in a different way. If you still ask like which one is better, Shampo or Luka you want to pair with Kafka, it actually depends on the situation. If you're dealing with a lot of AoE, then Kafka with Shampo will be better in general. But if you're dealing something with single target focusing on boss, then Luka will be better. That's what I feel in general. I haven't do any calculation yet, just because I told you I literally grind just to test like directly, 10 hours something. This is 5 am. So yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the build. So I haven't do any math about the build, so I just go very brief and I did some of like different stuff and I come to some of the thing that I feel is good. So the main priority that in Kafka you don't need crit damage. It's basically it's not same like Sela build. It's basically you only need is attack, it's the main priority, speed, and effect hit rate just a little bit though. So actually the main point is only attack and speed. That's why it's actually very convenient to build. You don't even need to have a very super crit damage though. And if you ask me how many, like, did you feel that effect hit rate is important? Yeah, it's a little bit important, but the thing is that Kafka effect hit rate is already so high. So if you take a look in here, if you can max everything, but I didn't because I lack of resource, I still don't have even enough money. It will be total up to 130. So if you already can make 130, you basically only like 10% something. That's very less. So you can only make it on in the substat. So there we go. Then we will talk about the relics. What is the best? Basically in Kafka, she doesn't have like what we call signature, something that's very on top. So you can just basically just mix, like kind of mix. You want to do that this 4-piece set, it's also can, or you just want to like 2-piece this one and 2-piece like the musketeer also can works. And arguably if you feel you still lack of what to say, a speed, you can put the speed and also not this one, which one? This one, the speed 2-piece also can if you want. So it's either of that, it will works though. It doesn't really matter. I already tried 2-piece and 4. It's not really so much different. And if you want to ask about the main stat in here, of course this one you cannot change. This one is attack percentage, but if you feel you have kind of lack of your speed, you can put speed in here. If you ask me how many a good number actually for Kafka, I think good number speed for Kafka is around 130s. It's already good. So if you can achieve that through the substat, then you can just focus on attack though. But if you cannot focus on getting 130, you can put 100. I mean, you can put the speed in there though. And then I'll talk again that in here attack percentage that you don't need crit rate again. So just remind attack, just go attack. And in here, of course, attack you can change though. And also in here the Planar, of course, lightning boost, but attack also can, but lightning also can help in the Kafka DOT, so lightning's a little bit better, so if you wonder. And then in here attack percentage will be good. You can put energy regeneration, but I still prefer attack though if you like it. And then basically, if I just want to put reminder, if you have Kafka Lifecon, you basically need lesser speed, so that's a good thing if you have Kafka Lifecon. Just reminder, you just need a lesser speed though. To achieve 130 is a lot easier, so it's pretty kinda nice quality of life. And talking about the planner that I forgot, what is the best? This actually also very depends. If you feel that you lack of effect hit rate, you can put this, but other than that, always the ceiling speed is also pretty good though, because you kinda want like above 120 of Kafka speed, so you will get also advantage from this 20% and plus 12%, so it's actually pretty good though. So you can choose either what you feel that will works for you though. And talking about subset, what is the best? Basically, it's just very simple. Just prioritize attack percentage, attack speed, and effect hit rate though. So those things that you should prioritize though. So something like this is basically waste. But break effect is actually a little bit nice also if you can put. It's not bad, because if you can utilize the break effect, yeah, you will get a little bit bonus. So if I have to rank, the top ring is attack percentage of course, and prioritize speed, and then effect hit rate, and the last addition will be good is break effect. Okay, so for trace, which one you should prioritize? Basically, you should prioritize skill. I think the skill is the real the enabler of Kafka itself. So this one that makes Kafka really become very good character, because after you use skill, everything just like pop up in here though. See, middle precision, and then if there is, so it's very good this part. And also ultimate. Ultimate's basically similar. So ultimate, just prioritize the ultimate and skill first. The follow-up is not really that amazing, but it's just nice addition. Normal, you can just like ignore. I would say you almost never use normal attack for Kafka, because you really want to do this though. And this one also, if you can afford, this is pretty good, just because I already say right, you will get like increase your effect hit rate up to 130. So this is actually pretty good though to increase your effect hit rate though, because it increased the best chance. So it's pretty nice addition though. And let's talk about Kafka performance. Basically, Kafka performance in world first, it's just basically not bad. Like farming stuff, it's okay. You want to spend your energy and do the auto something like that, it's totally okay. She passable. You can do pretty easily. She can survive. The only problem that I don't know, I feel Kafka AI sometimes a little bit stupid. It's when you're using the skill, it sometimes attack the corner, so it's supposed to hit 3 person, it hit only 2 person. Oh my god, it's so stupid. I don't know, the AI is so stupid. So I don't think if you want a smart AI in a character, Kafka is not one of it, because the AI in Kafka is pretty bad for me. I'm not even kidding though. But overall, he's still able to handle, just because pretty much all the overworld monster is quiet, not strong, so you can pretty much survive though. As for simulated universe, for the last difficulty, I cannot clear. Basically, I never cleared the last difficulty in simulated universe yet for my last difficulty, just because my healer is sucks, and I always have a bad buff. I already do a couple of the run, but I keep getting a bad buff. So with my healer that's so pepega, I really cannot survive. So my main problem in my Kafka on clearing simulated universe that I cannot survive though. But the one difficulty before that, yeah, my Kafka can survive, but the last difficulty, my Kafka cannot survive. Basically, it's not Kafka that died, other member that died, just because they also not well built, like Shampo and Luka is so fragile. So that's why when one of them already died, yeah, the setup, everything screw up, so I cannot even finish. So basically, it's not Kafka fault, it's more my build is not really well built though. So this is what happened when you don't really have a well built, basically. As for Memory of Chaos, I would say Kafka is pretty decent though. If you put, again, I say, with her own DOT team, she's doing a very good job though. Surprisingly doing better compared to my previous team. Before I can only finish Memory Chaos of 5. You can check my Himeko stuff. I only can do until that, but right now I can do until 7, but I cannot continue anymore because it's already 5 PM. I believe probably if I try hard, maybe I can even finish until Memory Chaos 8 with this not even a well built and very Pepega HP, not well built healer. And I have to say, yeah, I have to say Kafka is pretty amazing in her own team, but if you try to kind of separate without the team, you can feel there's a little bit like stuff that Kafka really didn't do so much, like stuff though. It's just like whatever. It just you just feel like yeah, she can deal damage, but it's not amazing. Just whatever. Sally will just look superior if you just want to treat like other like DPS like so she kind of really need her own setup and team though. So in the end, if you ask me, is she free to play friendly? I have to say it's very depends though, because let's say you haven't built so much character and you just about to starting to build. If you're very smart that you feel anticipate for Kafka, you haven't built any single character that much, and then you have a lot of resource and you start to kind of build from scratch, then yeah, probably it's free to play friendly, just because when you build Shampo and Luka after that, they pretty much only 4-star, and then you don't need to have a fancy stuff like crit damage, just like attack usually per like speed effect. They have the different from the usual setup, so it's not really that expensive though, so it's basically easy to build her. Basically I only built Shampo is just by today and Luka, and my artifact farming I don't even farm though, because you just basically just put whatever, so it's pretty much cheap if you haven't built character. But if you have similar case like me where I already built like Clara, this one I built a little bit Pela and like other character, yeah, you have to build like both of them again. It feels so expensive. So in my case she is not free to play friendly, just because I have to build both of them and it takes all my resource, so it's not free to play friendly for me. But some of people can be free to play friendly. And let's elaborate what is the Kafka Pros and Cons. Basically Kafka Pros are the main benefits. She makes DOT team become better, and also the second her playstyle is kind of different than other main DPS, so it's kind of refreshing way for you to play, because you really utilize DOT, so it's very different playstyle. And also about the build from her is pretty comfy. You don't need so much like crit damage, so you can even put whatever bad substat. It's okay though. You just need to care about your attack or your speed and a little bit effect hit rate, and you're ready to go. Just focus everything on attack though. And she doesn't really need a kind of fix like sets. She has a like chop option, like you want this 4-piece or 2-piece, this one, this lightning or musketeer, it also can work, or even the speed one. Let's talk about the cons about Kafka. The main cons about Kafka I've talked that he's very dependent on other character though. Without you putting like with the OT team character, she just feels kind of whatever. She doesn't have any appeal. So in order for you to make that, oh actually Kafka did something, you need to have to pair with other character. And actually if you put with them, it just become a lot better. You can feel like just happier to want to see with her in a DOT team. So because of that, she's very dependent on other character, and because of that, it's very also dependent for her to be good in the future. It's very dependent if that in later we will get like DOT character again or not. If we never get any DOT character, then she will become bad, but in future if we get like DOT character, then she can become better though. So she's very dependent. Her future is very dependent on the future character though. Basically what I'll say though, if you kind of wonder is she future proof or not. And the second is that her AI is pretty bad. So if you kind of like busy person working and then just relying everything on AI, then I don't really recommend, especially like if you want to clear the high difficulty content like Simulated Universe or what MOC. No, she pretty much cannot become so optimistic just because her AI pretty stupid. That's another con. So my verdict about Kafka is that I would say overall she's pretty just average in terms of individual. I would say her individual just whatever, nothing really amazing. I would say compared to Cele individual is just so good. She just feels so outstanding, even with free to play, whatever. She just feels so killing it. But Kafka just feels just whatever, just so average though. It's just like I would say a little bit hot take, feeling like a little bit like Himeko, but a little bit better at her own. But if you put at the DOT, she's amazing. She's feeling like wow, actually Kafka is very good. I even have clip that actually Shampo without Kafka with Shampo with Kafka. It just feels so much different. It's just like Kafka just enable everything DOT. So that's why I have to say about her though. And in the end I have to say, should you pull for Kafka if you ask? If you really like her as a character design, sure, it's whatever, because you know waifu is number one for you, right? So I cannot stop though. But for my honest opinion, if you have willingness to build for Kafka, let's say at least with one DOT Shampo or Luka, then sure, you should be fine. But if you don't have any determination to build specifically for the OT team, something like that, I suggest in for your own resource sakes and for your own like gem sake, just don't pull Kafka though. Just because you really need a kind of a special setup though. Because if you want to make your Kafka as a standalone character, just pay mix and match like say Silly, Meko, Clark, something like. She's not that amazing. Better just put pull Blade or Cell again on the rerun, or any future character the Danheng you will see probably will be good in I guess for the standalone, because if you're just aiming for standalone, I don't suggest for you to pull for Kafka. So I have to say you can pull Kafka if you have willingness to build the OT team or you really like as a waifu, but other than that, just don't pull though. I don't think it's worth.